Anyways,
Okay.
so like with these bean bags, like they're great. Listen, I use this out in the living room. I use it in my room. We use it for the pot. Can you see me?
Yeah, it's just like it's not zooming in on my face. So I was
Because
like,
your iPad's not as good as mine, bro. It's
mine's
all right.
literally brand new.
But yeah, for the podcast at least, like you'll sink in this thing. So I if you ever notice on the podcast, I'm always like with my arm back. It's really just because if not, I'd be like this.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Fair.
You know.
Yeah, I do too.
Like sometimes I adjust myself through the episode too, and if I try to sit up straight, but like it's hard when you're in a beanbag, like it's slouching for you. So
Sometimes I was talking to my buddy about it. Sometimes I wish these were the bean bags that have the little beads because I feel like they hold the shape a little bit better. Like once you like refluff the memory foam one and then sit in it exactly how you want it to, it will mold, but like it will like continue just flatten and flatten and flatten until you're laying down. It doesn't like hold like a seat position. Super well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather just get like there are some cool like chairs that are like around this size, that are like comfy. I feel like one day we should definitely try to figure out that.
Yeah,
like these are nice.
Once we're
but,
not
like,
struggling
they
to
never
pay
really
for our
hold shape.
haircuts, we'll buy new chairs.
Yeah, and you could be the difference.
Yeah, so like, comment, and send us your money.
And we'll also drop our GoFund. No, it's not that bad yet.
Yeah. Well, welcome. I know I look really different. I'm not a new host. My name is Gabriel.
I'm Tyler.
And
I don't
this
look different.
Yeah, this is the Catching Up podcast. We'll just play the intro just to get out of the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show's about to start. Introducing Catchin.
I customized mine because I'm bougie.
It's not a 9, but it's not an 8.5 either. Like,
Why are you this picky?
you have to be the one to open the door. You have to be the one to open your heart.
It's not about you. It's about touching other people's lives.
Catching Up podcast. If you're not caught up, you're catching up.
I don't necessarily know what that means. Wow. Last episode of the season, and he wants to just get it out of the way. Okay. But he put some respect on that one.
Anyways. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I got a haircut. I look different. I look young, don't I? Don't even cap. Well, yeah, that's it. I don't even remember what I was... Oh, you know what? So before we get into our review, before we get into the episode, I got to say something. Question for you, Ty. When was the last time you had like a brand new gym open up near you over there in LA?
Actually, the one that I go to.
So at least like 3 years ago?
I think it opened... So I've been out here, let's just round up to 3 years. And it opened probably a little around a year after. So like 2 years ago, I would say.
Okay. How did
That
you
I
find
know
out
of.
about it?
I drove past it, and I saw them building it.
Okay, see, right. Nice origin story. So for those of you, I know Tyler is familiar with this gym, but for those of you that know and have heard the name Crunch, it's a good gym. Like, look, I love Crunch. Don't get me wrong. I do like Crunch. But they pop up like a little virus. Like, I went from like not having any Crunches near me to in the past 3 years, I have like 6. And then, yeah, no, it's crazy. Like all within like 20 minutes. And
That's so nice.
But it's so annoying because I don't know. I honestly, someone that works there, let me know how much the people that go out to random businesses and hand out flyers get paid. Because they are not only so annoying, but they are so persistent. And they do not leave you alone. Like, it is... At first, it's like, oh, like, do you work out? Do you go to a gym? You should check out our gym. Blah, blah, blah. Here's a flyer. Or try to get you signed up. Sure, I get that. Do your pitch. Do your job. I get it. But, like, oh, what gym do you go to? I tell them what gym. Oh, well, you should come and do ours. Ours is better. No, I'm okay. Well, why? Well, why this? Well, you should do this, and because of this. No, I'm okay, bro. I'm just going to stay where I'm at, blah, 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 blah. Well, where do you live? Okay, I don't need to tell you where I live, just so you can... figure out if your gym is closer or not. Where do you work? You don't need to know that. Give me your email so I can lock your price in just in case. No, I'm not giving you my information. Leave me alone. I'm over here at Dunkin' ordering. They're talking to the cashier. I thought the dude was ordering, and she literally was like, "Sir, can I take his order?" And then he had to step aside because he was trying to pitch a membership to the employee that's working
Inside of the Dunkin'?
inside of Dunkin'.
It's
And then it
crazy
happened to
work,
me
bro.
at the music store that I work at, which is 25-ish. Yeah, it depends. It's like 15 to 25 minutes depending on the traffic on I-4 from where the gym they're wow, I can't speak. From the gym that they're making. So they drove like at least a 20 to 30-minute radius.
Yeah.
And they walk into the store and they try to pitch it to me while I'm on the clock. And I'm like, "Bro, what are you doing? Leave me alone."
That's crazy, bro.
Bro, I'm not kidding. Like literally in the past like month, I've had like 8 people trying to like pin me up, be like, join Crunch, join Crunch, join Crunch. I'm like, you guys just seem like a cult at this point. I don't even want to join.
It's a cult.
I literally was like informing them. They're like, "Oh, it's I'm like the one of Dr. Phillips and this and this. And then they're like, "Oh yeah." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And then they're like, "Oh, are you gonna join?" I'm like, "No." You know why I know? Because I had to tell no to like 20 million other people. So bro, I was talking to the Dunkin' people and they're like, "Yeah, they just love harassing us." I was like, "People like it is
That's
borderline
crazy.
harassment. It's crazy." So that's my hot take. Stop, Crunch, chill.
Yeah, marketing team.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy to me because I don't think I've ever been solicited by somebody trying to get me to come to their gym. Like,
It's
because in
only
my
Evergrande.
mind, it's like, it's just such a weird thing because I'm like, if you put up a gym somewhere, like, people are going to join no matter what. Especially, like, with Crunches, they have multiple locations. I assume you can go to those multiple locations, maybe with a specific membership. I don't know, but I'm assuming you can to some degree. And so I'm like, people are going to go to your gym regardless. Like, I get it's new. You want to have a lot of signups. I'm sure they get, like, commission or whatever.
Yeah, but like,
yeah.
do something in the parking lot. Like, send out
Yeah,
flyers. And, like, sure, hey, I don't know if you go to the gym or not. If you are ever interested, we are opening up a new one. Here's a flyer. This is the day we open. We're hosting a little event, handing out free merch. Here you go. Like, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. This is my number.
Sure.
Boom. You know? Quick, simple, easy information on paper, and now leave me alone. Don't try to ask me where I live. Don't try to ask me all these personal things, and then be like, join the gym, join the gym, join the gym, join the gym. Why aren't you going to join the gym? You should join the gym. You should come visit the gym. You should go. Sorry,
One day.
I can make a whole episode.
You're
just
going to
about
be
this.
one of those people.
Don't. That's disrespectful. That was probably one of the worst things you ever said to me. So,
said
this is not only
borderline
the season
blasphemy.
finale. This is the series finale. I'm just kidding.
All right. Well, with that being said,
10
with
minutes into the pod.
with Gabe's yapping done, we're gonna go ahead and, for the first time ever on the podcast, review some Dunkin' Donuts.
For the first time ever.
And we're not even doing coffee from there. We're gonna be doing a couple things. I'll introduce the drink. You can introduce the other thing. We're gonna be doing the Tropical Guava Lemonade. I think these are pretty new.
I have no idea. I don't pay attention to Dunkin'.
Like,
at all.
I don't know. We just, okay, so Dunkin' is like one of those things every once in a while. Like, it's not, I don't really like their coffee that much. It's too sweet most of the time. And then if you get it not sweet, I don't know. To me, it's just not that good. The donuts are great, but like in LA, there's much better donut places, in my opinion. And like the breakfast sandwiches are okay. So like, I just never opt to go there. But we were trying to think, we're like, hey, what's something that we both have in both of our states? Because I'm in Cali, he's in Florida. And it's either Starbucks or this that we know of. I mean, we can kind of research more.
If y'all
but,
want us to do like a McFlurry,
the two
a McFrap.
main ones, yeah. And so, anyways, after all that, yeah, we're going to be doing the Tropical Guava Lemonade from Dunkin'.
And of course, I did it better than Ty because I asked for ice on the side, but they misunderstood what I said.
I did too. I just have already poured it. Bro, you know what's crazy? So I asked for ice on the side, and she was like, "Oh, just so you know, like we're not gonna fill up the cup the whole way." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine. Like I'm not gonna argue that, but but look at yours."
So here's the thing. I said, can I get it separate with ice on the side? And she only understood ice on the side. So she thought I wanted extra ice. So she's like, I'm going to have to charge you for that. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. And then, not that I'm rich, I'm like, it's like 70 cents. So,
Yeah.
and then they made this with ice. And then I said, no, I wanted it separate. So I think because she felt bad that she misunderstood what I was saying, she just topped it off.
Okay.
Because I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
but
she
it's
just
actually
tossed the
funny.
ice.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's actually funny now because like after all those like TikTok videos, people be like, oh, like if you order a large with no ice, like you're getting like triple the amount or whatever, and like now they're like, well, we're not gonna give you a full cup. So
Well, hey, that's what happens when everyone starts using the same hack. All right, I'm pouring it up.
nice pour. So honestly, I guess before we even like do the second one, let's just review this first for video purposes, obviously. You know, because we gotta do things a little bit differently around here if we want to break it down for you guys.
Bet. All right.
So let's do this, review this, and then we'll go into that.
All right. Cheers.
So Tropical Guava Lemonade.
Refresher.
Refresher.
Ooh. It's nice.
It's
What?
good. I don't really know how much lemonade I'm getting. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, it kind of tastes like fruit punch and guava.
Yeah. Well, she also was like, because when I asked her for it, she's like, "Do you want the lemonade or the green tea?" And I was like, "Lemonade." But this honestly tastes more like tea than it does lemonade.
You know exactly what this tastes like? The Panera rechargers that killed people.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like they used to have. You know what I'm talking about?
I heard about them. Yeah. I
Dude,
never had one.
So just to make it quick and make sure everyone's on the same page. So Panera had these rechargers called, I think they were just called rechargers or something like that. And it was just like this. It was like they had different flavors. I would always mix it, and some of them had the green tea that they have because the Panera green tea is fire. Anyways, so you do this mix, and they had like mango. I think they had a guava one, the green tea, and all that stuff. So I'd mix it up, and it tastes just like this, but they had like immeasurable amounts of caffeine. Like literally, like you drink a large while you're studying your homework or studying for a test or doing your homework, and you'd be like pre-workout pretty much. So I guess it killed people, so they took it off. But this tastes just like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think?
It's good. It tastes.
I feel like I like this more than you do.
I don't know. Like I like it. I just expected a more lemonade taste. Like again, almost going back to the Chick-fil-A one. It's like I wanted
right.
a little bit more lemonade in there. To me it tastes like a pineapple fruit punch, which is fine. Tastes great. Just not exactly what I was expecting for a lemonade. Maybe that's on me. But with that being said, it's good. It's flavorful. It's refreshing. So I'm gonna go a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah,
Like, it's good, but like, you know.
I'm gonna go with an 8 because I agree with everything you said. I just think I really enjoy the flavor, although I am disappointed that it's a lemon, that it's not very lemonade-y.
Yeah.
It is very guava-y and it's very tropical and it's kind of fruit punchy, but it's not. It's not
Like,
lemonade-y.
if it just said Tropical Guava Refresher, honestly, if that was just the name, if lemonade
10.
wasn't there, I probably would give it not a 10, but I'd give it like maybe like an 8.5 or a 9, you know. Definitely not a 10. Come on now.
Not a 10. Okay.
What are we
bro.
just throwing
All
10s
right,
out
man.
nowadays? Like it's nothing?
Get out of here! See, I told you this is a series finale. I'm foreshadowing. That's good.
All right. So you rated what'd you say? 8.8?
Leave it at 8.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Add more lemonade though. I think it might have been different if they prepped it properly though.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't do it how they're supposed to do it.
Yeah, maybe we should like take selfie reviews.
He said maybe we should sue.
All right, now up next we got the only thing that looked appetizing on their menu that I couldn't make at home, which is their ham and Swiss pretzel sliders. And if I can open this box, Tyler already has.
They smell good. Mine are looking a little burnt. I'm not gonna lie. Look, you see that? They got like burn marks.
Oh,
on
mine
them.
does not.
Yeah, Gabe's looks nice and fresh. Mine is looking a little
Yeah.
crusty. But it's okay. It smells great.
It
Smells like
delicious.
an Auntie Anne's, honestly.
I feel like this would be even better if it was like not bought 20 minutes ago. But
Yeah. It's like we got it DoorDashed, you know?
yeah, for real.
that's-
But I'm kind of excited. So it's ham, Swiss, and then pretzel bread. Cheers.
All right. Let's try it. It reminds me of like something I'd make at Thanksgiving, or like something I'd have at Thanksgiving.
It's
You know?
almost like a yes, for sure. It's almost like a ham and Swiss Hawaiian roll.
I think these are Hawaiian rolls, just pretzel version.
Mmm.
I think I remember seeing that online. It's pretty good.
Then I'm spot on. Yeah.
Oh, I just got a little bit of mustard. I don't know why that was only on the back half of the sandwich.
Mustard.
Did you taste it?
Mm-mm.
There's definitely something. It's got to be mustard. I mean, listen,
Oh yeah, there's a little bit of mustard.
it's pretty basic in the sense that it's just deli ham, and it's like a honey baked deli ham, cheese, and pretzel bun. So like it's nothing complex, but it's honestly pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
It tastes exactly.
I'm also very
how you
hungry
think
right
it
now.
would be.
But
Like like you think. I'm like, yo, imagine what a Hawaiian pretzel, ham and Swiss slider tastes like with the tiniest dash of mustard. You're tasting it. That's it.
the bun's really good.
Yeah, it is. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah. All right. Before I finish this,
Yeah, you deep in
I'm gonna
thought
go-
over there.
I'm gonna go a solid 8 out of 10. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's good. I like it. I don't think I would necessarily like pick it over like a sausage, egg, and cheese or a bacon, egg, and cheese like on a bagel, just because it's not like I don't think it'll be super filling, and like I don't know. I guess I'm just not always like craving this, but like on the day where I'm like, yeah, I want, you know, like I love Hawaiian rolls and honey ham is good, but like you know, it's good. I just don't know if it's something that I get super frequently. If I went to Dunkin' a lot,
Yeah,
it's good though.
I originally thought an 8 as well, and that was gonna be my rating. But then I was like, it's just a really good homemade thing. Like it's just average. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because I feel like 7's like just average, is like a C's get degrees type of deal. But it's like it's really good though. So I'm gonna give it like a 7.5 because I feel like an 8
Yeah.
was like above average still.
I definitely recommend trying it
Yeah.
if you haven't. And like, you like Hawaiian rolls, you like honey baked ham. Like they're good. Like I mean, again, like I said, I'm also very hungry. We haven't had breakfast yet. Oh, I don't know if he has. A little bit later where he is, but
Well, fun fact, when we were before we did this, we've been trying to figure out all week what we were going to eat. And then Tyler was like, oh, I don't have it at mine. I don't have it at mine. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's just not get a sandwich and just do the drink. So then I ate.
no.
And then
don't
he's
lie,
like,
you
oh,
was
I
all
found
sad.
it. And I'm like, oh. So I'm
You
actually
over
really
here-
full right now.
You over here gaslighting me.
I have the text messages.
All right, and before we move on, really quick, I haven't had one of these in so long.
I'm going to go grab mine because I
It's a
left it in the kitchen.
It's a double chocolate donut from Dunkin'. This, growing up as a kid, was my absolute favorite donut from Dunkin' Donuts. It's got chocolate icing. It's like a cake donut. So good. If you haven't tried it, it's so good. It's a lot of chocolate, so I get it. Some people may not like it, but I love it. And I haven't had it in a while, like a long time. So I'm going to take a bite and let you know if it's still as good as it was when I was a kid.
Spits it out.
Oh, yeah.
Trash.
Bro. I've had a lot of donuts in my life. Voodoo Donuts, DG Donuts,
Oh,
Yum Yum Donuts,
Publix.
all these donuts. Honestly, bro, this is pretty top notch. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is probably in my top 5 all time.
That's kind of a big deal.
I ain't even gonna lie. Of donuts.
I got 2 because when I was a kid, I used to bounce back and forth between these 2 because my parents would only let me get 1 donut. And now that I'm an adult, I could just get both. So I got the jelly donut, the infamous, which my favorite version is the powdered jelly donut. So it's exactly what you think it is.
Right.
And then
Right.
a blueberry donut. Both top tier. I'm not going to do a review. I know they're good. I've had Dunkin somewhat recently, so.
All right. Well, do you have anything? Do you want to talk about while I'm finishing this donut? Because
Oh,
I'm
I'm
just
also
gonna
eating my
finish this.
donut.
You just said you weren't gonna eat it.
I said I wasn't going to
Or
review
you
it.
weren't
But
gonna
okay, the
review
jelly
it.
donut. Top tier. Actually, can someone at Dunkin' please let me know what flavor jelly this is or jam? Because I honestly sometimes can't tell. I don't know.
What does it taste like today?
It almost tastes like a mixed berry.
I can see that.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm like, oh, it kind of tastes like grape. Sometimes I'm like, oh, it kind of tastes like strawberry. And I'm like, no, but it doesn't taste like either sometimes. So I'm like, probably mixed berry. No?
Bro, that donut is so good. I don't know.
He's like, I was not listening.
Like, it's just listen. I love chocolate, man. So that's like the best of both worlds for me. You know.
I just think it's hilarious. What? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, mine has nothing to do with what you're saying.
I was just gonna say I always like me, bro. I prefer the cake donuts over like a regular. I love a regular donut, but the cake ones that are like thicker, come on now. There's nothing like them. What about you? Do you prefer a cake donut or
What's
just
a
like a
cake
regular
donut?
donut? They're like the thicker ones.
Like voodoo?
Like
Like
no,
Publix?
not in the
Like-
sense, not in the sense of size. Publix, like everybody has them. The one I just had is like that. It's just like it's like you're biting into like a piece of cake rather than it's like a smushy donut. You know?
Oh, I think I like the regular ones more.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the times, maybe it's not true either, but I feel like when I have the squishy cake ones, the frosting is like super sugary. Where it's like all I
Sugary?
can taste is the frosting. It's like
See, I like
compensating
that.
for the lack of flavor of the actual cake. But anyways, what I was just gonna say is that I think it's hilarious how right before we started and like while we were like ordering stuff from Dunkin', Tyler and I were both talking about how we're the heaviest we've ever been in our lives, acting like we don't know why. And this podcast is a
Hey.
test to it as to why.
Hey. It's the season finale. You know, we're having a little fun, all right? I don't think we've ever, I mean, we've done like snacks, but I don't think we've done some. We
You
did
remember the strawberry
Starbucks.
Hershey donut?
But that was from the sesh.
Oh, I thought you meant like ever.
No. I just meant like on the podcast because typically like we get a drink unless it's like a nighttime episode. We'll get like a snack or something. Yeah, you know what? Never mind. I guess we are just. All right. So
He
next
goes,
season,
no, we've done chips, we've done candy, we've done coffee.
we've done extra loaded sugar coffee. Okay, so next season we're doing only products that
Only
are keto.
fruits and
So
vegetables.
we're just gonna have the people that like make the boards of steak, avocado, eggs.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna
We're
do.
just gonna eat it. Yeah, I mean, it's something that we get joy from. So you know, it's I don't as long as we clean it up the rest of the week, we can eat it on the podcast. I mean, bro, you see those people who are like reviewing crumble every week and they're like fit, and I'm like, bro, like how are you eating?
Hey,
I mean, one
after all
crumble
the
cookie is like 2,000 calories.
Yeah, but after all the people coming out when TikTok got banned of everything they lie, they like the famous mukbang girl like actually doesn't eat any of it. She just chews it and then like
Sure.
edits it to where it looks like she's eating it.
Bro,
don't
but
trust no
honestly,
one.
next season we should do a crumble review. I think.
Dude, I
Be
thought you were
fun.
gonna say mukbang. I was like, bet.
I mean, I'd be down for that too. It's just a little bit hard with our setup. Like usually people do those and they have like a whole table. Like we're sitting.
Maybe
in a
we'll do it
beanbag.
whenever we visit each other.
Yeah, we could actually maybe do something like that. So over the summer, real quick, I'm gonna be. This is the last episode of the season, and then I'll be going to Florida, not for like probably still like a little bit over a month now. But me and Gabe might be trying to do a little something special, a little live episode for y'all. So we'll see. So to those people that are still watching, you'll get the inside scoop. We'll let you know that that's something we're gonna be trying to do if we can make it happen.
Yeah, follow us on
if
Instagram
not,
to get the notifications for that.
Yeah, maybe Gabe will post an inconspicuous story or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that will wrap up the food reviews for this
Wrap
season.
up? Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
It's this lemonade. It's got me talking real crazy.
Mouthful
They put-
gazy.
What they put in this?
Lean, mean, green tea machine.
Okay, so I figured for the last episode, me and Gabe both came with a, something on our hearts and minds that we want to speak about, and you want to start with mine. I think that kind of transitions into it well. So the other night I just had this thought because I was like, we definitely transitioned our podcast a little bit this season in the sense of we include our faith and our faith journey and our faith walk into our podcast now, because it's something that's a part of both of our lives. And so we just figured that one, it could be helpful to share our experiences and share, things that we read that we find inspiring, or things that we read that wake us up and convict us. And so hopefully we just have been, hoping that we can help others through that as well. So it's become a big part of our podcast. And the other night I just had the thought, and I was like, what if somebody came up to us on the street, or like even in the comments, because even sometimes we get comments and they're like, why do you believe in God? Right? Like what is your specific reason? Like, and I just thought it's such a good question, because I think so many times, we, in our journeys, like, you can kind of forget, like, why do you actually believe what you believe? And taking it from the approach of, aside from, the history and the facts and, the studies and all these different, writings and things like that, like taking those out of account, because obviously those all play a huge factor as to why we believe that Jesus is the true God, as opposed to all these other people that claim things, because it's just, there's the most foundation there in terms of, like, if you actually want to, like, show proof and show, show it in the history. But for us, it's like, why do we personally believe, And I just thought it'd be a good question so that you guys know, like, where we're coming from and why we even speak about the things that we do on this podcast, So, you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
I
Or
mean,
we'll
go
let you
first.
guys vote.
I mean,
voting.
you're already talking. Go ahead. Lead it in, boy.
All right, so if I can just have 30 minutes set aside.
All right,
try to
so
make
here's the
this-
situation. I'm just some random Joe Schmo, because just to add to that too, because everything you said is true, of course. But I asked my buddy at work, because me and him were both Christian, and we were both like raised Christian and things like that. So there's like certain things we like click and relate on. And then I was like, because when you asked me this question, it was like, that's kind of a loaded question, but it's not at all, because it really depends on the situation and who I'm talking to. So it was kind of weird, like, getting out of that mindset, because I asked him, I was like, what do you say when someone asks you, why do you believe in God? And then he's like, well, who am I talking to? I'm like, doesn't matter. Why do you believe in God? He's like, well, what's the situation? I'm like, doesn't matter. And he goes, well, I mean, if it's just like the boiled raw down, like, to the point version, You know what I mean? Because I feel like if you're talking to someone that already believes, it's like you talk differently. And someone that doesn't believe and they're arguing with you, try to prove you wrong. You're like, okay, well, this. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's funny getting like the first time I've ever been asked that question, or I've been in a situation to answer that question without it actually having like a different person's opinion input.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because, again, that's why I was saying in the beginning, like, just taking out so much of like, the again the historicity of it. Like, instead of like taking it from the approach of like, because there's this evidence or there's these scrolls that match up to these scrolls 1,000 years later, or you have this, and like there's so many different reasons that you can use for that. But my approach was just like more personally. If somebody was like, I just want to know why. Like, what was the
no questions, no
for
ifs,
some
ands,
people
or
it may
buts.
change, yeah. And it's hard. I had to reflect on this and kind of really think about it, because it's like, for me, it was it's definitely just the fact of how far I've came in my relationship with Jesus because of prayer. And because, like, even just to give you guys some like background of it, like before I became a Christian, I was agnostic, atheist. I don't really know. I was kind of like honestly riding the line between the two. And I was somebody who, me and him, again, we were best friends. So like, I obviously respected him in his religion. But a lot of the times I would, behind closed doors or with myself, in a sense, mock Christianity, in the sense of like, I didn't believe that heaven was real. I didn't believe that Jesus was real. I never really like took the time to look into it. I just automatically assumed all those things, and I didn't really care to look into it. I didn't really have it. I was like, I'm living my life for me. I'm doing what I want to do, and like, I don't need somebody. I don't need a God in my life. You know what I mean? Basically, my mindset was like, I can be my own person, and like I could do what I want, and that's all I need. And, even just thinking about it, I was like, there are points in my life where I was like, people would bring certain things up about like heaven and stuff. And I would even think to myself sometimes, like, I don't even want to go. You know what I mean? Like, that's not even something that interests me. You know what I mean? And even like with just to tie in like a personal example before I like get into more so the side of prayer with it, is that even like nowadays with like me, I had that conviction a few months back about cursing, and I'm not cursing now, bro. Like 3 years ago, before I was a Christian, if he would have came to me and said that, I would have probably like, I don't know if I would have done it to his face, because again, I had a lot of respect for him and love for him, and he's my great friend. But like behind, like if we would have like left our hanging out situation, like I would have been like, wow, that's so dumb. Like, I can't believe this. Like, Gabe is so stupid. Like, why would he do that? Like, you know what I mean? And now that's me. I was fully convicted of this thing that like I thought had no power over me, that I thought had no hold over me. And like now, being removed from cursing for, a few months now, it's like I see so much of why that is. And we can obviously get into that at a different time. That's not the point of what we're talking about here, but just the pure power of where prayer has led me, bro. Like, all I did was in the beginning of, I think it was 2024. In that because in 2023, I remember I was talking with him. I was like, I don't know what it is, man. I just feel like something is missing in my life. Like, I just feel like there's always just been something missing. And so I was like, I made it a point. I was like, I really, let me give this a try. Cause I'd been to church before. I grew up Catholic. He had invited me to church. Other friends have invited me to church. And it was not until I started praying and asking God for guidance and to open my ears and to open my heart that I was able to be open to receiving those experiences. And I'm telling you, it's like clear as day. Once he led me back there, again, the first time I went to church after those prayers, which it took a little bit of time, but once he led me there, I still was on the fence. I still was very reluctant, and I was still very resistant, and I was still very. I was just like, I didn't want to give in. It's a really hard thing to be like, okay, I'm gonna give up my life to give it to Jesus. And I'm not always going to be perfect in making that decision, because I still believe, even if you are a Christian, like, that is a decision you have to wake up and make every single day. Just like in a relationship, you have to wake up and choose to love this person every single day. You know what I mean? And so for me, after going to church, but then like I instead of just like shoving it off as I would have before and being like, I don't care. Like, I went, I tried, that's all I needed to do. I had a strong urging to talk to, I need to talk to him. I need to ask my best friend who's been a Christian. I need to ask him these questions. I need to have this conversation with him. And again, me and him had been friends for 10 years. I never felt like I should ask him these questions. Like, I never felt curious enough to ask him these questions because I didn't want to know. I didn't care. Like, my heart hardened, my ears closed, my eyes shut, which we'll get into a little bit later about the eyes. But, right?
That would have been good.
But, and now just seeing like where I am 2 years later in my faith, in my religion, in my relationship with Jesus, the way that I think about things, the way that my outlook is on life, the way that I wake up every day and I'm so much more grateful for just the life that I have, the experiences that I'm having, the body that I have, the abilities that I have, like just being able to wake up and realize how much God has truly blessed me with today. We get so caught up in money and finances and jobs and opportunities and our passions and our desires, when it's like, dude, we throw our fist at God, and it's like He woke you up with a working body and working eyes and working hands. I mean, obviously not for everybody, but everybody has their stories. And again, this is like, for me speaking, like He's waking me up with so much already. That is already a blessing in itself. Like, if I have all these things, like, why should I ask for more? Anyways, I'm going off on a little tangent.
I was like, wait, so like, this is why you believe God?
Yeah, it's just the power of where prayer has led me, and that's just the personal side of it. Obviously, like I said, there's a lot more that goes into it, but I truly believe that if I hadn't started praying, then like I don't know where I'd be right now in terms of like faith, religion, and again, that's affected so many decisions in my life. That's affected the way I live my life, the way I move in my life, the way I move in my relationships, the way I treat people, the way I try to work on myself to get better as a person every day. So like that has trickled down through so much of my life that like I don't even know who I'd be right now if I didn't make that decision to open the door when Jesus, like I said, He's always knocking on the door. It's just, are you opening the door and letting Him in, or are you opening it and just seeing it and closing it? Like, are you not even answering it at all? Like, He's always there knocking. If you truly open that door, if you truly want to know, all you got to do is open the door, and I promise you, He will come in and He will change your life. But you have to allow Him, and I still have to allow Him every day. He still has to allow Him every day. It's not like, okay, I opened it once and like now He's going to do everything for you. Like, no, it is a daily thing we all have to do. But just seeing that change in my life is proof in itself. And like we can get into the different prayers that I've prayed that have like, came, and the prayers that haven't been answered that like, you know what I mean? That also like are answers in themselves. So yeah, the power of prayer.
Which is honestly, I think, so interesting to me because growing up in church and like hearing all these like other people's, because like technically that's kind of your testimony, or at least a part of it. And I think that's so cool that like usually someone's testimony is like how they came to faith, but what's different with yours is that you didn't have some like crazy spiritual encounter. You didn't have some dude that like said something that just like rocked your world and you just like broke down. Like you didn't have to hit rock bottom. You didn't like you hear so many people like, "Oh, I had to turn to this, or I was in this dark place in my life and I tried to end my life, or I used to self-harm
Yeah.
or this and that and this and that and I was in these terrible things." Like no, like you were not that it's bad, but you were just a regular dude, an average Joe Schmo going through life, not a bad person, not a great person, but a good person. You know what I mean? Like none of us are great. That's why I say that. Not
Right.
taking a diss on you. But it's just
Yeah, yeah.
like it wasn't like nothing like crazy happened to you, from what I'm aware of at least. It was
Yeah.
literally just
Yeah.
a sense of you being self-aware enough and have enough self-reflection that you're like, there is something missing, and being mature enough to be like, oh, I don't need to like turn or to these things or do these things to make me feel whole, because I know that's just not, whether it's you tried them and you were just lucky that none of it got out of hand or whatever. Like, it was just like, you kind of just came to, and it just like, and I remember this conversation because you're like, where should I start? And I'm like, well, your best friend's Christian, your girlfriend's Christian, like you might as well start there. Like, why would you like start somewhere else? And then it's
Right.
like, and I remember being like, like just figure out what you want to believe in, because, and then the fact that you're like, all right, let me try this prayer thing out, like for the PG version of like for poops and giggles, you know what I mean? And because I
Yeah,
remember you
yeah.
being like, I'm praying, like, let's just see what happens. And then, but like, the more you did it, the more you understood it. And then, like, the more you saw the power in prayer. Because the Bible talks about prayer all the time.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't know. I think your story is really cool that it was like, I didn't need to do all this stuff. Like, I just came to realization and then the Spirit moved when I asked. Like,
Yeah,
that's literally all it
absolutely.
is, like, boiled down to. And it's amazing. Like, I think that's super dope. Back to
Thank
the
you.
point of the section of this podcast. Why do I believe? So mine's very different than Tyler, obviously, growing up in church. So I was talking to my buddy because I asked him because I was like, yo, what's your answer? And then he said pretty much everything I would say, where it's like, which kind of sounds like copy paste, but I was like, make sure that I wasn't overthinking it because it is just the truth for me. One, I think it just makes sense, like scientifically. Like to me, like it doesn't make sense. Big Bang, you know what I mean? Like nothing comes from nothing, and we've known that in the universe. Like something doesn't come from nothing. Something always has to come from life. Life comes from life. Life doesn't come from nothing. That's how we repopulate. That's how plants grow. That's how, you know what I mean? Like there's a seed. There's a physical thing right there that helps create life. We create life. Animals create life. Plants, right? So it's just like for you to think that, like I don't know, like to me, like that is hard. Like I feel like believing in that is hard. Takes more faith than believing that God created the universe. Because at least
Absolutely
my
it does.
answer is easier. I got a reason. Oh, the big man upstairs was like, let there be light. And that's why everything happened. Like, you know what I mean? And everything is so perfectly precise. Like, if the earth was tilted like 5 feet one way or 5 feet the other, we'd either burn alive or freeze to death. The fact that if the earth didn't spin like if the earth stopped spinning for a second, we'd all be flattened. Like, the fact that we're so perfect that every organ in our body works exactly how it's supposed to, that we get cut and we can like rejuvenate our skin, like that doesn't happen by mistake. And that's what explosions are. I've never heard of someone setting off a bomb in their room and then their room is clean after and put together. And that's essentially what you think of when the Big Bang is. Like, it's a huge explosion that just happened to place everything in the whole universe perfectly to where it just worked. And that, to me, just doesn't make sense. So there's that side of, like, why I believe. And then another one is just, like, my personal encounters. You know, like, I don't talk about it very much, but, like, I've had, like, a vision. I've seen miracles. I've heard God's voice. I've felt his presence. I've seen him move in other people's lives. I've seen him move in my own life. I've seen answers get prayed, whether it's the way I wanted to or not. You know what I mean? Like, and one thing that my buddy said that it just like hit me where it's, and I wrote it down. Hold on. It's I never had a reason not to believe, and But nowadays, people are looking for a reason not to believe.
Yep.
And I think that's
Yep.
like the biggest thing is like even you like for a long time I remember you being like, well, why would you follow because of this rule and this rule? And I'm like, well, you know, and then you're like, well, I can get behind this, this. But there's one rule. Nah, I don't get it. I don't want to. So I'm not gonna do it. You know what I mean? And but yeah, long story short, just so we don't have like a 3 hour long podcast for the last episode. Yeah, it's just I've had my own personal encounters and experiences with God Himself, and I've seen a lot of things. And yeah, like I can touch up on that, but just that's just like the rundown version.
Yeah, I thought it'd be
Simplified version.
it's an interesting question because, like you said, again, there's so many different contexts that question could be asked it in, and there's so many different ways that you can propose that question to somebody. So I just found it, to be interesting, at least for us to kind of, give our reasonings on the podcast. So people are like, oh, that's why they talk about this. This is why it's so important to them, and this is why it matters to them. But it's something that if we, if anybody, was curious about or wants to know, now they know. And if we ever want to delve into more, we can always do that as well. But this is just kind of like my idea was like, what's like the quick, like, what's your elevator pitch? Like, why do you, if you were at an elevator, you got like a minute to tell somebody, like, this is why, you know what I mean?
Okay, well, then just to add on to that, then I'd be like, dude, like, I've literally had, in third grade, I passed out in the middle of art class. You remember when people would do when you'd go, and like, you'd like force yourself, I don't know how to, what it is really, but when you'd like hold your breath and like push, and then you'd make your face really red. I would do that in class because like we'd all like, oh, who can make their face redder? And then I passed out in art class, and I like went blank, and then all I hear in Portuguese, funny enough, is like, "Are you really the Son of God?" And then like a laugh, and then it says, and then they said, "You'll never know." And then I felt like this weird little like thing on my stomach and my chest. And I was like, that's weird. And then it turns out when I passed out, I stopped breathing. And my friend Noah figured out that I wasn't breathing, and he was like giving me CPR. And my art teacher was yelling at him to get off of me because she thought I was faking. Yeah. So, and then luckily he did that, and I was like, like I just came to, I guess. And then I don't know how much time passed, but time passed. And then there was this, I think like this really big like pastor missionary lady from Brazil that was going to my grandma's friend's church. And my grandma would always take me whenever they had like a visitor and stuff like that, just because it's cool meeting them. And like they always have like interesting stories. And she was like, everyone in the church got in a line, and she was praying over them with oil on their forehead. So then my grandma's like, oh, yeah, she's going to pray for you. Let's go. And I'm like, sure, whatever. And then I get there, and all I remember is she put the oil on her thumb, she put it on my forehead, and then I don't remember anything after that. I couldn't hear anything. Everything went white. I couldn't, like, literally, and then all I hear, a different voice, like a louder and more, I guess, like, righteous voice in a way, also in Portuguese, "You are the Son of God." And then I passed out again, and then I woke up shaking.
Wow.
So that's, like, one thing that, like, has always stuck with me since I was a kid, because I was just like, what the heck just happened?
That's crazy.
Not like I am like the Jesus Son of God, just like you are a Son of God. I just realized how
Bro
that
said,
sounded.
I am the new Messiah.
I am him. No, that is not what I'm saying.
Bro's Paul Atreides.
Right? But I don't know. I don't know. That's just something that's always been like a big conviction in my heart. Like,
yeah, absolutely, man.
And I don't talk about that
I think
very
like
often.
everybody's gonna have those experiences, bro. But sometimes I feel like, there's people that can, again, I think what you point out about mine is like there not being anything big. And not that was like your conversion story or anything, but like some people, like I see all the time in comments, are like, oh, well, how do I get God to speak to me? Or I didn't have this experience, or I don't have this experience. Like, you're not always going to have a big experience. Maybe not when you come to the faith, maybe not in the middle, maybe somewhere at any point in the timeline you will. But like some people think like, oh, in order to come to God, I have to have this, revelation experience. And it's like, you really don't. But experiences like this are amazing, and they provide to our witness, and they provide to our testimony, and they provide to our further, examples in our lives of why we believe that God is real,
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Not cool that you passed out, but
Yeah.
seems like you got something from it.
Yeah. I mean, it was just stuck with me, and I just think it's crazy that like I couldn't see or hear anything for like the whole time. Anyways, we can go on another time. We are already at like 50 minutes, so our next topic was something that I was reading my Bible, and I was just like, oh, Lord, I just pray that, your word speaks to me. And I was like, because at this point in time, Tyler and I didn't know what we wanted to talk about on the last episode of the podcast. And I was like, man, like, what's one last thing? Like, God forbid I die tomorrow, and, this is the last episode that comes out. And like, that's it. I'm like, what's one thing that I'm like, man, if you didn't get anything from this season or from this podcast, like, I hope you at least got this. And then I read this. So hold on, let me grab my iPad so I don't butcher it.
Let him grab his iPad so he don't butcher it.
Yup. Anyways, okay.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna be a rapping podcast next time. We're just gonna rap our whole podcast.
Everything. Yo, that'd be sick. That'd be a great episode.
Could you imagine?
Oh, also,
let the Holy Spirit.
If y'all want to say hi to Thigh. Oh well. Anyway, so let me go back to my notes. Hold on. Okay, so it's Luke chapter 11, verses 33 through 36. And it says, no one lights a lamp and then hides it and puts it under a basket. Instead, a lamp is placed on a stand where the light can be seen by all who enter the house. Your eye is like a lamp that provides light for your body. When your eye is healthy, your whole body is filled with light, but when it is unhealthy, your body is filled with darkness. Make sure that the light you think you have is not actually darkness. If you are filled with light, with no dark corners, and then your whole life will be radiant, as though a floodlight were filling you with light.
Dang, bro, you got KJV? Just kidding.
No, that's NLT. So, as we can all know, I'm not very great at reading out loud, so I'm sorry if that wasn't great. But long story short, that stuck out to me because it's like it's just so important. Whether you believe in God or not, whether you're religious or not, whether any of that stuff, like it's scientific. Like who you are, who you hang out with becomes who you are, right? And it's like you become what you consume, whether you're a believer or not. What you watch, listen, and what you think shapes you. And if you're consistently feeding yourself negatively, it's going to show up in your mindset and how you live your life. At the end of the day, that's always how it's going to go. Like, that's how people are going to perceive you because your actions will display what's going on internally, and what's going on internally is affected by what you're feeding yourself, whether it's what you're watching, whatever, right? And then, but when you focus on good things that lift you up, challenge you, and help grow you, it changes everything. For us, like Tyler and I, the ultimate source of that is God. His word is always uplifting, and then it's always like a sense of light. It's always a sense of strength. And especially when we're going through dark and empty seasons, like that's what we turn to fill us back up with hope and light, right? And what it says in this is like Jesus is saying that your eye is a lamp, and what you let in will affect your whole body. So it's just like, if you're not going to take anything away from anything we've ever said, just know that what you are consuming on a daily basis is what's going to become the priority in your mind, and it's going to essentially become your God. Whether that is God or something else, someone else, somewhere else, it's a really big self-reflection moment you got to take of like, what am I prioritizing, and what I'm consuming actually beneficial for me? For example, like scrolling. You might not be watching when you're mindlessly scrolling, it doesn't mean you're necessarily watching bad things, but you're not filling yourself up with light. And anything that is not light and positive and helps you, then it does the opposite. It's not like it's like there's no like this helps me, this it doesn't help me, and then this whole area right here, it doesn't affect me. No, everything affects you. So if it's not helping you, it's hurting you at the end of the day. Why are you smiling like that?
I don't know if you're still going or not.
No, I could
don't wanna
keep
cut you
going,
off.
but I don't want to like go on a tangent for like 3 hours.
Yeah. No, I get that. And listen, I can even personally attest to that as, you know, somebody who has obviously had struggles in his walk with the faith in terms of, you know, staying consistent on reading my Bible on a daily basis or
Likewise.
You know, even just and also with, you know, staying on top of, you know, prayer and things of that nature. Like when I don't spend time in the Word, dude, I feel so off. And again, I lived majority of my life without any sort of sense of the Bible. So like, you know, even like this applies to then, like, but even more so now being able to experience what it's like to have that in my life versus not like, you know, going a week without it because I'm too busy with other things, quote unquote, too busy with other things, right? Like it's an excuse. I just feel so off, bro. Like I don't feel, my mind isn't as sharp. My thoughts are not as clear. They're also focused on temptations and sins way more than if I'm in my Word. I'm much more likely to not be as willing to like think about those and give into those. Or when I have the thought, it's like, no, I just cut it at the thought, right? Because every sin starts in the mind, right? It is like people think, oh, like I just sinned because I did this action. It's like, well, it starts up here. If you don't think about doing something, you're not going to do it, right? Like, you know what I mean? To rob a bank, it's like you're going to have that thought, hey, I should run in this bank and rob it. You're not just going to like, your body's just not going to gravitate you towards it. And so just attesting to the fact that, yeah, like when I fill myself up with the Word and with watching sermons and with making an active decision to increase the prayer in my day-to-day life, I feel so much better. I feel so much sharper. I feel so much more clear. And again, this is coming from somebody who never thought that I would open a Bible. So like, you know, you can think what you want on the outside, but like I've been on the outside and now I'm on the inside and I'm giving you this firsthand experience. But also just real quick, another facet that I want to talk about. I mean, I think what you said was great, bro. Like it is true. Even with the scrolling stuff, like what you said, you might not be consuming bad things, but like, just think about it. You're just mindlessly running and running and running. You're running towards an escape rather than running towards something that can feed you. And it's so much easier to, bro. Like it's so much easier to just pick up your phone and go on Instagram or go on TikTok or go on X and, you know, scroll and look for things rather than just opening this and taking, you know, a little bit of time to read, you know? And I get that. It's a struggle that I face a lot of the time. But another part I want to focus on really quick is when he says, you know, make sure that the light you think you have is not actually darkness.
Yeah.
If you're filled with light with no dark corners, then your whole life will be as radiant as though a floodlight were filling you with light. And basically what I gather from this is because Jesus was talking to the Pharisees here, where the Pharisees made everything look good on the outside, right? Like from just an eye's point of view, if you saw what they did, they followed the laws to a T, right? They made it look like they were the best law followers of the time. But on the inside, they were doing it for show. And of course, when Jesus goes into, you know, the towns and he goes into the churches, like he sees what's really going on. Hence why he flips over the table. And when they ask him upon what authority he has to say these things, and you know what I mean? Like they would always challenge him because they thought, oh, well, we're the best law keepers here and we do this and we do that. And this, again, can apply to people as Christians or people not as Christians. When you're aiming to become a better person, when you're aiming either a better person or a better follower of Christ, right? Like, I feel like make sure it's working from the inside out rather than just for the outside, in the sense of like, I want to do these things so people know that I'm doing these things, so people see the change, so people know, what I'm doing. And listen, I think it's a great thing. I think people like they should recognize your actions and be like, wow, like what is this guy doing? I want to be more like him. But when you're doing it for those reasons, like I see so many people like again in this social media age, and I'm not saying that you can't post about things, but like if every time you do a good deed you have to post about it, or every time you go to church you have to post about it, or every time you're doing Bible study you have to post about it, like are you doing it because you actually want to be doing it, or are you doing it because you want to show this off? You want to show to people that you're doing these things. And again, I'm not saying that you can't ever post it. I do think we need more content like this. Like, yeah, you're on the beach reading your Bible. Sure, maybe somebody will get inspired by that and go and do that. But my thing is like if you're doing it every time, right? Or if like you only give money to homeless people when you're with your friends, or when you're around other people that can see, or you only want to volunteer when there's people that will see you there volunteering, or like again, even when Jesus was telling the people like that they should pray alone by themselves in their closet. Again, he's not saying this is the only place you can pray, but he was saying that because people were out in the streets praying and screaming out to the Lord because they wanted people to see that they were praying. They wanted people to see, oh, I'm so holy, I'm so religious. And so again, I'm speaking to it with more of a Christian context, but like don't do these things like you because you think you're going to get something out of it, or because you want people to see the change. People will see the change. People will see how your heart has shifted. If you just do these things because you're actually allowing Jesus to change you rather than you want it to look like Jesus to change you. And listen, man, I'm very guilty of this sometimes as well. You know what I mean? Like there are some times where I, don't always do things with the best motives or intentions, and even if they are good things, you know what I mean? Like you can do good things with bad intentions, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, again, it's a really hard thing to walk that fine line of, but I think it's something that we can all strive to work towards, is that, our intentions should never be dark. It should always just be like, hey, I'm doing this because I'm a follower of Christ. This is what he commands me to do. And I trust him as my Lord and Savior, so I'm going to follow what he says for me to do. And I trust that that is the best thing to do, and I actually believe that it's the right thing to do now. As opposed to, yeah, if I do this, people might think I'm a good person. People might like look at me. People might give me influence. People might want to follow me. You know what I mean? Like, and especially again in the social media age, and I know it maybe sounds weird coming from two podcasters who put things out on the internet, but we're doing this in hopes to help people, to encourage people, and give people insight rather than get some sort of fame from this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
if we get a following, great. We can help those followers and we can encourage those followers. But like that's the goal is never to be, at least for us with this podcast, is not to be famous. It's to help, encourage, and have some fun.
Psych, it was actually all a ploy. When I said feed yourself the light, I meant the podcast. So make sure you only consume us because we're the only thing that's good for you.
That's right as well.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, I do you have a question? I don't. I can come up with one right now if you want.
Sure.
What's your
That was quick.
I was thinking about it while you were talking about your first question because I realized we never picked a question for the end. Okay, so as summer is ending, or I mean summer is starting, and we're coming to the season finale, or this is the season finale. What do you think, as of right now, and I think it'd be fun if the first episode of next season was the same question to see if it changed, but as of right now, what do you think your summer song is going to be? That like you're playing all the time, that you're like, oh, when I'm like, oh, I'm feeling like this is summer and like, it's a summer vibe.
So obviously it has to be a song that's out right now.
Yes.
Because I obviously don't know.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think, so I'll let you think just because I'm sure, because you didn't think about this question. So for me, I think my summer song is going to be Emotional Vacation by Steven Sanchez. And I don't know if you've heard that one, so listen to it after. It's such a vibe. And it's funny because I went to the doctor's the other day, and while I was like filling out some stuff, the girls behind the desk are like, did you see my story? Or did you see the picture? And she goes, oh, the one you took of yourself. And she goes, yeah, I'm trying to post it on my story, but I don't know what song to put. And then since I was right there, I was like, oh yeah, I be doing that all the time. I look at other people's stories and see what songs are are trending, see if any of them call my name and that I want to use too. She goes, yeah, but I don't like posting what other people post. And I'm like, I get that too. And then she goes, I just want a summer song, like a summer feely song. And I told her that song and she goes, you were right, Gabe. You were right. I like that one. Okay. So I got the stamp of approval from a stranger. So
listen, man, I am going to go with a good old trusty. It's actually not a new song. But to me, bro, I think, and like, listen, I know I'm a big Drake fan, so like I could be biased. But like, I think Drake he's so good at making albums that capture a certain like time of year. Like, especially like, for example, like For All the Dogs, like there are songs on there that like, it just reminds me of fall, like November. I don't know why, bro. That might've been when it came. I forgot. I think it came out around that area, but like, it just reminds me of that time. Or like, you know, some of his like Scorpions, a little bit more darker. So it's a little bit more for that gloomy type vibe. But I'm going with Flights Booked by Drake from Honestly Nevermind. Such a good summer song, bro. Have you? I don't know if you've heard it. I don't know how much you've listened to Honestly Nevermind. That was his like house
album. I had that album on repeat for like months.
Yeah, so that is
which
like,
one's that one?
How
does that one go? I'll cut it out. I'll cut your
Chasing sunsets in California.
Oh yeah. Yo, that is a good song,
bro.
That is such a good song.
Such a good summer vibe, especially like if you're cruising like with a sunset in California. Come on.
All right.
And then honestly though, for the nighttime drives, bro, I've actually really been going back to Don't Matter to Me, the one with him and Michael Jackson from Scorpion.
I don't think I've really listened to that one.
You should check it out again, bro. It's a great, like, it's a good vibe. It's a good vibe.
Okay, bet.
Come on, it's Drake and Mike Jackson.
I'm just trying to get Nokia out of my head, honestly.
That I feel like that's gonna be like the party song of the summer. You know what I mean? Like,
it is.
That's like if you're like trying to like dance and like, you know, vibe and stuff. But yeah, if you're just cruising, like I think I'll have to listen to that one. I haven't heard, not Nokia, the one he said.
Yeah, emotional, bro. I've been bopping to an oldie but a goodie, right? Since we're talking about Drake, Too Good with him and Rihanna.
Oh yeah, that again, like that, bro. Come on, automatic summer song. Like you can't. It's crazy, bro. I mean, that dude's catalog is insane. You know, say what you want about him.
Insane in the membrane.
Like, he's got something for everything. Like, you know, I'll be surprised if he doesn't do a country album by the time he's done, bro. Like seriously.
Yo, he's gonna, bro. I hope he doesn't. I hope he stays away from country. I'm sure it'd be good. But when you have Beyonce that made a full country album, and then you had Shabuzi that is a country artist now, and then you got Lil
Post
Durk.
Malone.
Then you got Lil Durk, who's had like 8 songs, not actually, but like multiple songs with Morgan Wallen that he's straight rapping. It's not even actually country. I'm like, those are hard. Like he's gonna get compared to either you're either gonna be too rappy on a song or you're trying to be like Beyonce. Yeah. I feel like he just didn't beat him to the punch on that one. So I hope he stays away.
Okay. Well, those are our songs of the summer. You know, if you want to tune in. If you guys want us to make a playlist, like, you know, if you made it this far in the episode, right? Comment down below, make a playlist, and Gabe will make you a summer playlist, and I'll make you a summer playlist, and then you can let us know which is better.
Yeah.
So that's only if you made it this far. That's a free gift.
Replies playlist.
And we'll see. But yeah, just literally reply playlist on the comments, whether you're on. Well, I guess this would have to be YouTube, or if you're listening in on an audio platform, go to YouTube and comment it. And that's a gift we'll give to you if you made it this far.
Or DM us.
It's the least we can. It's the least we can do, eh? It's the least we can do for you.
Yeah. But
all right. Is there any what's a final thought we could leave them with? You get one, I get one. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
For what we just said, or for just as a whole?
Just for the end of the episode. What's something you want to leave the fans with?
When life gives you no, I'm just kidding. Okay, stop overthinking and just do. Sometimes it's not that deep. Just do it.
Nice. He's right. Sometimes it really is not that deep.
Yeah, sometimes God is going to talk to you through a table, and sometimes that table is just a table. You know? Not everything's as deep as it seems.
True.
So
Very true.
just relax. Give it a second. Pray about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you're not religious, pray about it.
Yeah, meditate on it, at least.
Yeah.
Bare minimum.
I would say...
Rock hard and
Just
party
take-
on.
YOLO, baby. Just take time to reflect. You know, I think reflection is something that I've been trying to incorporate more in my life, and I think it can be used for two things. One, to see how far you've came, because a lot of the times I don't feel like we give ourselves enough credit for how far we've come, whether that's in our job or our daily routines or our faith journeys or whatever it may be. I think like we don't give ourselves enough credit for where we are, and we are 100% our worst enemies and our worst critics. So like just sometimes take a step back and like look how far, just take a look at the last year and be like, wow, like what have I all accomplished? Where have I grown? What has changed in my life for the better? And also it can be used to like look back and be like, hey, like I used to be here doing I used to be, you know, hitting the gym all the time. I used to be eating great. I used to be, you know, in my Bible every day. And now I've kind of fallen out of that, right? Like you can also use reflection to look back and be like, I used to be on top of things. I let something get a hold of me. How can I get back on track? You know what I mean? So it can be used for one or two things, but I think it's something that like we just don't do enough in today's society because we're so distracted. Because when we're not at our job, we're out of the gym, or if we're not on the gym, we're out with friends, or if we're not with our friends, we're on social media. We have all these different apps to take away our time that we don't think, we don't look back, we don't like, we've lost this thought process. So just take time to reflect and look back on your life and give yourself credit. Like don't be so harsh on yourself, but also at the same time, like make sure you're not staying complacent with where you're at right now. And again, as always, I think it's something we can both attest to. Pray about it. If you're ever feeling lost, feeling misguided, feeling like you don't know where you are in life or what your purpose is, or, you know, you don't even know if there's a God up there, just pray. Just pray. Ask for guidance, and He will lead you. He will lead you.
Drop the mic.
I can't really take this up. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in this season. Truly, it's been a really fun season. It's been a great one.
I think this is the most fun I've had in a season in a minute.
Yeah, me too. And it's something that, you know, we really enjoy doing. So obviously, you know, we'd like to continue to grow the podcast. So we'd really appreciate if you guys could share it with your friends, with your family, with somebody that you might just think may need to see our podcast, or, you know, we can be a hangout spot for the weekly basis if like you just want to come and hang for an hour and chill with us. But we appreciate, you know, anybody who's always, you know, liking and supporting and viewing and watching the videos, whether that's on just shorts or full length. We really appreciate it. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, make sure to go click that GoFundMe link. No, I'm just kidding.
That's next season.
I said. So thank you so much. Sad to say it is the end of the season. So we'll see you next season. Which luckily for you, we're not TV, so you don't gotta wait a year. You only gotta wait like 2 more months.
Shoot, Stranger Things, you gotta wait 5 years.
Yeah,
bro.
Exactly. Severance was 3. You know, like we don't count like that. But
yeah,
we'll
be back soon. We'll be back soon.
We'll let you know what our summer song actually turned out to be, or songs.
True.
And in case you forgot, just because, like I said, I'm not a new host, I swear. My name is Gabriel.
I'm Tyler.
We'll catch you next season. Peace.
Peace.
Catching Up podcast. If you're not caught up, you're catching up.
I don't necessarily know what that means.